Next, NFT Street.
Okay,
Do we have to be in front of this camera, or we can be now anywhere, right? Anywhere, okay.
Whoa, all the space.
Okay. I have a question. What if Snoop Dogg, Ellen DeGeneres, McDonald's, LeBron James, Paris Hilton have in common?
All American.
All American,
Rich.
rich,
Annoying.
annoying. I would say it's up to my personal opinion whether or not I agree or disagree with your statements. But one thing I can assure you that they're all involved with NFTs, whether it would be investing into NFTs, selling them, auctioning them. They're all involved with them in one way or another. So before we move on, I want to define two keywords that we will be using through our presentation, which is NFT and smart contract. So NFT is a non-fungible token that is linked to a blockchain, and it is linked to a unique code that contains a unique code. Then that code is linked to a physical or a digital asset. And a smart contract, it is a self-executing contract that is creating a terms between the buyer and the seller, and that agreement is directly written into a code of lines, a line of code. Right? In other words, it's a digital ownership, certificate of ownership, that then you can authenticate easily, accessibly online. So at first, it might be complex to fully understand our company structure. However, our main goal is to be the connecting bridge between the existing technology and the small creative businesses as well individual artists. In other words, we want to create an opportunity for more artists to come into the NFT industry as soon as possible.
And there are a few major problems that creators and investors in the art world are held back by. So one of them is that most of the art sales happen behind closed doors. Another one is that it's nearly impossible for small or emerging artists to join the art trading world. According to the Fine Art Expert Institute, 50% of art is forged or fake, leaving the art collectors in the dark about the originality of the art piece. There is still a huge gap between the cryptocurrency of blockchain enthusiasts, investors, and buyers, and the traditional artists. And lastly, a lot of creators are too indulged in the design process, and they do not have the time and energy to learn about the legalities, to mint their NFTs and sell them.
So NFT Street offers a solution to this on two layers. One, the art industry itself, and another, the individual artist. So first, in terms of the art industry, NFTs help to create more secure and decentralized mechanism of art trading world. So with a smart contract technology, you can set the terms of the agreement that every time your art piece is resold, the original artist receives the percentage of royalties immediately. In other words, this technology allows it to make the authentication and verification processes much easier, secure, and removing the stakeholders and institutional gatekeepers. How do we resolve it within the individual artist? So we have to acknowledge the fact that most of the traditional artists are not joining the NFT is because they're anxious about usage of cryptocurrencies, the complex technology, the words of blockchain, and etc. It is worrying for them because we come from the art perspective and we understand that completely. So that's where NFT Street offers a solution that we take care of all of the processes, from file adjustment to minting the NFT, auctioning, and marketing the NFT. So all is left for the artist is to come to us with their art collection and discuss with us the terms and the conditions they want to set their smart contract.
And we will work with no cure, no pay, meaning that the artists will not have to obtain financial constraints to become part of the innovative industry. For the successful sales, we will charge one-time 33% of the original sale. Currently, in the Netherlands, there is a huge market gap. For example, NFTs.nl are rejecting 95% of their customer stream because of high demand and insufficient capacity. Our team consists of 3 core members. Susan, over there, our tech-savvy girl, she is holding her knowledge in the information science, and she's passionate about the digital world. Migle is our base for cryptocurrencies, and she's coming from the world of media and communications. And me, Yava, I am coming from the world of art curation and design and sustainability within the digital world. We believe that with our knowledge and network in art industry, we will be able to establish deep relationships with the artists, which a lot of tech companies fail to do.
So at the moment, we haven't officially launched. We are finalizing our website and the medias. We are also finalizing the choices for the digital wallets, for the operating system. We want to make sure that everything aligns within our sustainability values. However, through the word of mouth, we already have quite some of the customers that want to have meetings, that want to work with us. We also have attended quite numerous in-person and digital events for the NFTs, whether it was the conferences, whether it was meetings or televised events. And we have made quite close connections to quite several CTOs, so Chief Technical Officers, as well as CEOs from blockchain companies, cryptocurrency companies that are willing to be our guidance. And they all said that come to us when you have questions, come to us when you want a favor, simply because this industry now is so small that they want to make sure that all of the communities are accepted. So they are willingly offering to help us out so we can expand this community as well. Second of all, we have partnered with a Chicago gallery. It is first physical NFT gallery, and together we're working to do trainings for the artists about the NFTs, as well as we are sharing our knowledge to get more information about the buyers of the NFTs. And last but not least, we're proud to say that we are the finalist of TEDx Impact Program, which we're looking for the catalyst for the change, and we hope to do that with the art industry.
So together, we aim for a better future by making NFTs accessible and understandable. And in the long run, we aim to give back to the society by reducing fraud and giving creators their fair share in their profession.
We're more than happy to answer your questions. Yeah, go ahead.
So you were talking about sustainability, right?
Yeah.
So you're buying art pieces attached with a non-fungible token. But if the computer is attached to it, to run these computers, you use energy. And if you do it physically, not. So how is that part in your plan with sustainability?
Yeah. So at the moment, we are not going to be the people that are going to say, we are going to demolish all the internet and the computers, and we're going to say that we should never use them again. We understand that's the issue. We're not trying to resolve the issue of people using their personal computers. We understand at this point we're in a digital world and it's impossible for us to resolve it. Where we come in is that we make sure that the art trade is happening within its sustainability limits. So for example, just last week, Rarible.com, which is the second biggest seller for NFTs, they said, they established that you can now set to sell your art with emissions being paid by the buyer. So you're still paying for your emissions. You actually are contributing to the emissions, right? However, instead of the artist having to do that, we would push that for the buyer as well. We are also looking into the side chains and the bridge chains, which is basically Ethereum at the moment, which is one of the biggest cryptos to sell the NFTs. At the moment, they're not fully sustainable. However, you can use the technology, which is basically a bridge to contract it with other cryptocurrencies that are sustainable. And in the second quarter of 2022, Ethereum has promised to the industry that they will move to Ethereum 2.0 and it will be sustainable. We're waiting for that. We have to see it, how it will go. But for now, I think we have several options with which we want to go. Yes.
Yeah, what's according to you the main reason for buyers to buy NFTs? And do you think that's a valid reason?
Yes, we believe that firstly, it ensures that it's authentic and that you own it. So these two reasons. If you're a buyer and you're buying an NFT, there's no way that you will buy an art piece that is not like true, authentic, because it's defined in the smart contract. another thing that it defines is that you are the official owner, because it's also defined in the smart contract because it functions with EiP. So if you buy it, it's defined, encrypted in code, and can never be vanished. So for you as a buyer, it's very important that you buy real art, right? And that you have a certificate that it belongs to you if you buy, I don't know, something for 50,000 or $1 million.
Okay, but why is that important?
So I think in general, a lot of people that are confused, like, why the hell the biggest NFT sold is like 7 million, like 70 million? Like, why are people paying millions for these graphic Minecraft looking things, right? Well, if you really cannot understand and grasp the idea, I have two answers for you. First, then you probably need to look into and understand why art is in general valuable, why pieces of white canvases with one red dot are being sold for millions and billions at the moment already. Then you need to understand that concept. And second of all, if you've ever gamed, if you ever like had a skin on any of your games, you already understand that having a digital asset online is a huge value. And I know for a fact that playing a game and investing hundreds of hours and in the end being, wow, I'm gonna leave all my skins, I'm gonna leave all of the assets that I gain, and I'm gonna have to move on, you know? It's quite difficult to grasp. But then now NFTs also are obviously bringing the opportunity to own that. So ownership is extremely exclusive, and I think that we would have a very long discussion why art is in general valuable. So in some sense, since we are moving to Web 3.0, we're moving more to the metaverses of the digital world in general. Like Steven Spielberg, Player One, I don't know if you have seen that movie, we believe that's where we're heading, and NFTs are actually the catalyst of this situation. So
Can I just say something really quick? Just like, I know I can be up there, but we talk about artists, but it's not only painters, it's also musicians, it's also fashion designers, it's also all type of people, not only
Like designers,
painters, all designers. So
digital designers.
in the future, you can buy a Nike Jordan pair and you can know it's like authentic instead of a forged pair. You can buy a Chanel bag with an NFT instead of the old plastic card that comes with it. You can buy your festival tickets or concert tickets with NFTs to make sure you're not being scammed. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, so what is your like go-to-market strategy, as in like how are you going to reach the artists? What is your next step in that?
So a nice example is we already got a client from the startup market. So I got someone in my DMs who were saying from, oh, someone saw your startup market and they really want to get in touch, and yeah, we have a meeting soon, but it's just someone who has a fashion brand with bags and she just
And as well, like, we know that our like main competitor that is rejecting the 95%, like the way they put themselves out in the market is that they just made them like public. So they went on like shows, they spoke, they were like in these talks. So we also researched and we contacted this NFT company that is called Doing Good, and they're based in Barcelona. And basically what they did, they focused a lot on building the community. So educating people about NFTs, like holding talks. So basically just spreading awareness, because that's also part of our value, what we stand for. But we believe that with this, not like direct sales, we can actually sell.
Yeah, and at the moment, like sincerely, we looked into how many companies are there in Europe, and something similar that does like from putting your NFT online to also marketing, there are not many, especially in Europe. There are very, very few companies, and they vary in their knowledge, they vary in their accountability, credibility, and etc. So the market is really wide, and the people that are willing to like enter this industry are quite a lot. And we're not saying that like now, of course, is also a boom, but it is proven like this blockchain technology is also not something completely new. Like smart contracts existed before NFTs existed. We're not stating that something was completely developed, and there's already so much traction. So we're not saying that customers will run to us completely, but at the moment, even from the word of mouth, we have quite few artists, also the fashion companies that are willing to come and work with us.
And on top of that, we are in touch with a customer, like our competitor kind of.
Yeah.
And we are negotiating, maybe we can get a hold of their client stream that is rejected. So that's
Because-
probably
Yeah, because for them, it's like, you know, they're losing the customers, so we're negotiating the terms, what would be, like whether it would be on a trial basis, whether it would be that we give them certain percentage from the sale that we eventually make. We're negotiating the terms, but there's a very high chance that eventually we're gonna get our hands on that 95% that they're turning down. Because as I said, as we mentioned, it's not because they don't know how to do it, is that they just are a small team and they don't have the capacities yet to also fully expand. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I still don't quite get it, but like me as an artist, I would be giving up 33% of my margin just for you to give the customer like an online certificate, or what exactly?
Well, basically,
like,
you
what?
as a creator, let's say you are a rapper, okay? So you come to us and you say, yeah, like after, I don't know, COVID hit, I'm not like doing any concerts, I need to generate profit somehow, and you're sitting in your home trying to write lyrics and you cannot make profit. Then we send you an email and we're like, hey, this is a way how you could make profit from being at your home. And then we say like, yeah, like you're working on your album, why don't we turn your album into an NFT that you can launch to your community, okay? That you already have like a following community on social media, and then in this way, you already like generate profits that
Who's buying it? Who's
Your community members, like people that want to support two people the
I
fans.
give up my ownership of that song and I can't upload it to Spotify.
Not necessarily.
No, that's the thing, like that there's a difference with the 33% sale that we charge. So it's not like, you know, we would be charging it every time. It's not the royalties. We charge you just one time 33% sale, which means that we already give you
No,
profit that you
but
wouldn't
like,
have made
If I'm
before.
selling my song to the community, I'm giving up the rights to it, obviously, right? That's
No, not necessarily.
In the smart contract, we're defining that you're the original artist. So every time, like, and it's not the song that you're still selling like digital merch, you know, like you can make some gifts or some like digital merch, and then these people are buying your digital merch, and every time like they're reselling, because if you're a star such as, I don't know, like big rapper, I don't know, Jay-Z, whatever, and someone is buying your digital merch and there's like only limited amount of like 100 or 50 or like 10, okay, of these items, like of course there's going to be hype around this, and of course there's going to be people willing to make even more money by reselling it. As Jay-Z, like you know that you're going to get royalties. So if someone buys your art piece for like, I don't know, 500 euros and resells for 5,000, like the profit is going to return back to you.
Yeah, but to answer also, you can set in a smart contract whether you want to give commercial rights to the people or you want to remain with your like intellectual property, you want to remain within yourselves. And at the moment in the conferences, all the lawyers are trying to crack their heads, how does this actually work? So we're not gonna try to lie here that we have all the answers to the question of like the legalities and the copyright, because even the top lawyers in the world currently are trying to grasp how it actually works. But you can still define whether it's commercial right that you give it to the people or you give it non-commercial rights. Even with non-commercial rights, they can resell it though.
It's only digital products, right?
It is digital product, but you can choose to also have a physical
What's
product.
the difference between like a usual certificate of ownership, which is
Because it's more secure, like it cannot be forged, and it's like just because it works with smart contracts and is based on blockchain, it's irreversible. So nothing can be ever taken from blockchain. That's why.
And also
It's
anyone
much
can
more
access it
secure.
and check all of the transactions, like from the moment that you put it online to the moment when someone resold it, someone added more money into it, like all of that information is gonna be for anyone publicly visible.
Yes. Vicky.
Last question, Vicky, go ahead.
If you could pick someone to be your chief authenticity integrity officer, because it feels like so much hinges on that, who is that individual? Who's that face?
We have a really close friend who works as a CTO in.
But I don't know them. How can they be really, you know, you started off your pitch by talking about Snoop and Alan, etc. So put us back in that mind of thinking, who is that influencer? Who's that individual that will be that face of authenticity and that promise?
So authenticity and promise, in a way, I think to answer this question, you need to a bit more understand what blockchain based it on, because blockchain is based on peer-to-peer authentication in general. That's the whole idea and boom about Web 3.0. Like currently, the way that we know internet, we're at Web 2.0. That means that we are relying on institutions to give us access to the internet. We're moving now to the Web 3.0, then most of the digital space in internet as we know today will be based on peer-to-peer. So that authentication, so to say, directly goes in a way to peers, all of the rest of the world of the people that will check that those transactions are actually
But
valid.
also the algorithm, like there's a reason why so many people trust blockchain. So in this way, we're not giving it to the hands of a specific person, but we're giving it to technology and the algorithm that we all trust.
And to kind of finalize the answer, to to finalize the answer, like the individual, the person for us that I think brings our credibility as a company is that we partnered with the CTO of one of the biggest Bitcoin companies in Benelux. And if you say Bitcoin, even if you're not into cryptocurrency, you will know what Bitcoin is, right? And this company is, one of the biggest in Benelux. He is CTO responsible for millions and billions of money, and he's more than willing to, and he's already mentoring us and helping us with the legalities and etc.
And
So,
technicalities. So we have the safe back.
Perfect. Thank you so much.